American Ed Radio, leading the education discussion. And now, your host, Jack Ford.
We are back on American Ed Radio, and we're back with our buddy Rob Franek, the Senior Vice President, Publisher of the Princeton Review, and Rob's got some more lists for us. We love our lists here. So we talked before about some of the great places and the great food in different colleges. We talked about professors, the great professors in different colleges. Let's talk about one that I think in many ways could be the paramount list here, and that is where the happiest students are. You know, at both of my children now have gone through college, one through medical school, and I remember traveling around and doing the college hunt. One of the most important things I would say to my kids would be, where do you think you'd be happiest? Just close your eyes and see yourself, and where are you smiling? Because if you're happy, you're going to do better. In anything in your life, right? So my first question is, how do you gauge in terms of your lists here? What was your criteria for determining happiest students?
Well, it's a pretty simple way of looking at it, but we reached out to 122,000 current college students. The hard part was to reach out to a big cohort of kids from these 377 different schools. On average, 350 students per school that are in the book. We're answering questions on academic experience, quality of life, social life. But then we asked them, how happy are you? How happy are you with your academic experience, with your social experience, with the campus culture that we were talking about before? You know, are the residence halls comfortable? Is the food good? Everything that's going to add to your quality of life as a student has value, right? It might not be an academic value per se, but as you say, it is absolutely connected with your overall experience.
All right, so this is not the biggest party schools.
Right.
when you talk about happy, you're not talking about happy party, but you're talking about happy. Part of it is that your social life, happy in your academic life, happy in all the extracurriculars you're involved in. All right. Okay, so with that as our metric,
yes,
let's work our way again from number 5 to number 1. What's number 5 on the list?
Number 5 this year is Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, again, all of these schools are such amazing places, superlative places academically, but again, these students are ridiculously happy about their overall experience. So number 5 is Vanderbilt. Number 4, Clemson University. Okay. Now Clemson is a terrific school, and we get so many students. I think we had a little over 4,000 students from Clemson. So the average is 350, but at Clemson we had over 4,000 kids.
I got to tell you, Clemson, I've had the opportunity to be down there. I did a lecture down there, and I managed to combine it with a great football game.
Oh yeah,
right? Clemson football fans, Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina. You know, it's interesting. They start parking. People show up with their vans, their traveling vans, like on Monday or Tuesday before a Saturday game.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so you have everybody is happy at Clemson. The students are happy at Clemson. The folks that are coming and they're actually winning some football games. They're having a good run right now, so I can see why Clemson is a happy place.
Totally hear you.
How about number 3? What's number 3?
Number 3 this year is University of California, Santa Barbara. Also on our best value colleges list and the Green Guide. I mean, from sustainability, but overall very happy students.
There's so many University of California dash schools. Mm-hmm. All right, Santa Barbara is if you think about UCLA, you think about Cal Berkeley. Yep. How does Santa Barbara fit in to those?
Santa Barbara is a pretty big school. It focuses on programs in the sciences. It's superlative in its science programs and disciplines therein. But again, thinking about that overall quality of life for students, it is one of those flagship universities where we might think of UCLA and Berkeley, but I would put Santa Barbara and Santa Cruz right up there at the top as well.
Good to know. How about what's next on your list?
Number 2 is again usual suspect, Bowdoin College. Number 1 on our best campus food. Number 2 on happiest students, and this year number 1 on our happiest students list. Again, usual suspect, Rice University in Houston, Texas. Fabulous school academically, and no joke academically when we start to think about the rigor of course curricula at Rice. But these students have a great quality of life, and they've been a usual suspect on that list.
These are all good schools. I'm not trying to diminish any of them, but Rice, as you said, is known as a very rigid, high-end academic program. Not a big school,
right?
Interestingly, it's sort of on the smaller side.
Oh, absolutely.
But was it surprising to you to see a school that is known as such a strong academic institution to also be the number one in terms of the happiest students.
It's surprising to me because it has such rigor in the classroom, but it is not surprising in thinking about how students trumpet out, as you were saying before, their experience. They talk about their accessibility to faculty members, that their faculties bring material that they teach in class to life, that they're accessible outside the classroom, and then overall quality of life for many of those other lists. Residence halls, food, career services, health services, things like that are going to add to your overall experience as a student. But Rice has been favored on many of those lists.
You mentioned just in that sentence another one of your categories, and that's best career services.
Yeah.
And as you know, right now, significant debate over the notion of college, the cost of college, what it prepares you for, and people going out and getting jobs and starting careers afterwards. So clearly, I think people, when they're shopping for their colleges and universities, are going to look very carefully at this notion, this category of best career services. First of all, what does that mean? And then let's get into your top five.
We asked students what they're ranking, what they would rate their school's career services from a experiential learning, so internships, experiential learning communities when you're an undergraduate, and then what are the services that school is offering you to, one, get a job, as you're saying, first-time career, and then what are the services that you have to get into a graduate school or professional school of your choice. So thinking about how the career services model from a couple of years ago, you'd visit the career services office the second semester of your senior year and pray that you'll get a job. I mean, that is all thrown out the window for the majority of schools, and the schools that made it onto this list are exceptional in pairing those career services early on. So when you visit your prospective college with your son or daughter the first time, it is likely that the career services will not only be part of the admissions pitch, but it might actually be in the same office as the admissions office. Because you're right, college hasn't gotten any less expensive. It's part of the compact.
I don't remember. Yeah. There might have been one, but I don't remember a career services office when I'm graduating from college. Now we're going back into the 70s now. Is this a fairly new phenomenon?
It is new in that it is new in that they are a reality. But it too, I think it now affects the student experience from first year through senior year, which is far different from schools even just 5 or 10 years ago in thinking about that your last stop before you exit with your diploma. But really it is throughout your experience overall.
All right, so with all of that as a build-up, let's now, we're talking about best career services. Let's get to our list of our top five. So start with number 5.
Number 5 this year, Clemson University. Again, Clemson, South Carolina. Number 4, and this is a perennial Princeton Review favorite, is University of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia.
The Spiders at Richmond, Virginia, right?
Spiders, yeah.
Absolutely. A beautiful campus, the lake that's right there. It's a great place.
It is a fabulous spot. We write about their law school and their business school as well. It's great. Claremont McKenna, again, number 3 on the list, and that's part of the 5 Claremont colleges out in California: Pomona, Pitzer, Claremont McKenna, Scripps, and Harvey Mudd, their engineering school. Number 2 on the list this year is Penn State University. Big school, but awesome career services. Now, Penn State is interesting because it's career services, but they have a very engaging way to bring in alum from their active alumni base to make sure that those students are connected with jobs and through an alumni network. First on the list this year, again, number 1 spot, Northeastern University. Excellent school in Boston. Here's why they're different. 5-year undergraduate program, 1 full year spent in a cooperative outside the classroom. They can choose from 2,000 different career experiences outside the classroom for that 12-month period.
It is Northeastern is a great school. I have friends have gone there. Again, it's in Boston. Let's spend a minute on Northeastern because he said it's a very different structure. I remember the first time a friend of mine went there, and they started to explain to me that it's not a 4-year thing with 2 semesters, fall semester, spring semester. Right. It was a unique approach that they started a while ago. Explain that to us.
Well, that cooperative program, that 5-year undergraduate major, and you're right, there's no blinders on. The students understand fully that their undergraduate degree is not going to be a 4-year degree. It is a 5-year degree, and it's focused on pre-professional areas and studies, so focusing on business and other areas that have that sort of business focus. But here's the thing, that full year commitment, it's actually a 12 to 18 month commitment in the cooperative experience. These students get to choose from 2,000 different possible experiences in 49 different countries, both in for-profit and not-for-profit areas. Here's the thing, and this brings back to our point before, is college worth it? It's not getting any cheaper. undergraduates who are graduating from Northeastern are some of the most employable undergraduates because of that cooperative experience. They are influencing the way that undergraduate schools now think about their career services.
Yeah, and you wonder if more and more colleges are going to start to take a look at it because of the success they have coming out of it. Hey, Rob, we have so much more to talk with you about, but we are out of time, so that just means that we get to bring you back another time with some of your lists and some of your thoughts from the Princeton Review. So our thanks to our great friend, Rob Franek, also to Eugene Hickok for joining us today, for Jennifer Bell Elwanger. And I should note, Rob Naylor's been our producer today. Our executive producers, Fred Cambria and Matt Cacciata. So we're glad you're with us. We'll look see you again on American Ed Radio. Take care.
You've been listening to American Ed Radio, the leader in delivering entertaining, trusted, and empowering education information. Join us and further the discussion online at AmericanEdTV.com and follow us on Twitter at AmericanEdTVNet.